Hi, I'm Chris Desert Dog, and this week we're going to be doing a video on the old single beadlock duct tape trick. Now, as you might know, particularly with the 17-inch wheel size in beadlocks, when you get a tire with a really thick bead on it, like a Maxxis Trepador or a TSL SX or even an IROC, those tires have super thick beads on them. You know, thicker than a BFG Red or a MTR or a tire like that. So generally, these really thick beaded bias ply tires, when you put them on a 17-inch beadlock and you air down to 4, 5, maybe even 6 pounds, and you put a lot of weight on one tire, you totally load up, especially side loading one tire, they tend to burp air on the inner bead a lot. You know, and you go on forums like Pirate, you know, and a lot of people are blaming different wheels, you know, oh, trail ready beadlocks suck, they burp air, or, you know, race lines suck, they burp air, or method sucks, they burp air. It's not the wheel, people. It is the tire bead. You know, tire manufacturers can't make different wheels for every bead of every different tire out there. So they make a generic size wheel to hold different beads of different thicknesses. But when you get into the TSL SXs or you get into the Maxxis 42-inch Trepadors, the bead on those tires, those bias ply tires, are just so damn thick, they overwhelm the inner bead of most wheels. So what we like to do is, the solution is, you know, no one wants to run those stupid inner airlocks or any junk like that. So what most people do is either run double beadlocks, which are exceptionally heavy, and if you want to buy really good ones, they're really expensive too. So for most of us, we get single beadlock wheels, but you can also lock that inner bead without having a double beadlock wheel. And that's where the duct tape trick comes in. And basically what you do is you put 2 or 3 wraps of duct tape around that inner bead hump, and it locks that tire on that wheel, and you will not burp air anymore. Trust me, I've been using this trick for about 15 years now on my beadlock wheels, and anytime I use the duct tape trick, I never burp air anymore. Forget to do this, you know, or you know, have to change out a wheel or a tire on the trail, and I won't put duct tape on it, and you know, I go down to 4 or 5 pounds and I'm burping air all over the place. I break that down real quick, pull the wheel, put duct tape on the inner bead, and same thing, I can wheel with no pressure in the tire, and I will never burp air on that inner bead again. So this works. It's super cheap and it works. You know, and a lot of you are asking, you know, I know what you're saying. I wheel all the time with 5 pounds in my tires and I never burp air. Well, I got 2 things to say for you. Either number one, you're not really wheeling the really hard stuff. I mean, come on, you might think you are, but you're probably not. And number two, you probably can't trust your air pressure gauge. I mean, I have a really high dollar calibrated gauge right here, and it's accurate. When it says I got 4 pounds in my tires, I have 4 pounds in my tires. Then there's this gauge that tons of off-roaders are running, this low pressure gauge. And, you know, I personally know about 20 people that run this exact same gauge right here. And I'll tell you what, when this thing reads 5 pounds, my calibrated gauge is telling me I have 10 pounds on the tire. So the point is, this might be accurate when you have 15, 20, 25 pounds in your tire, but when you have 3, 4, 5 pounds in your tire, these gauges aren't accurate at those low pressures. So now I'm going to place my duct tape right here on this hump. The tape's going to go on either side of it, but it's not going to go up on this lip right here. And it's not even going to touch the edge of this lip. It's just going to be just to the inside of it, out. Now you can use any really good high quality branded duct tape, but I've been using Gorilla Tape and I've had great results in it. I've never had a failure with either type of duct tape, but I like that the Gorilla Tape's a little bit thicker, so I can do fewer layers. I usually do 2 wraps with the Gorilla Tape and 3 with the standard duct tape. But you're just going to continue around like that. Now when you're doing this, it doesn't have to be perfect, but you want to go around and make sure you push this area down on the inside as much as you can, because when you seat the bead, the tire needs to slide over this. So you want to seat this down. Also, be mindful, it's not going to look perfect. It's an uneven surface and you're going to get a little bit of wrinkling in the duct tape, but that's okay. That's normal. Don't worry about it. Just make sure you press that inner part down really good before you put the tire on it and put air in it. It's that easy, really. And as you can see, you can wrap the duct tape around the rim with the wheel still in the tire. See the outer bead still in the tire right there. So you don't even need to take it fully out to wrap the tape around it. You can roll it like this, and you can lay the tape on while you roll it. That's actually a pretty easy way to do it. And also on the subject of beadlock wheels, I want to give you a few extra pointers here. Number 1, always read the directions. It'll give you all the torque specs and all the other information you need on properly mounting your beadlock wheel. Secondly, always use anti-seize, especially if you have an all aluminum wheel that has steel grade 8 hardware. And thirdly, always get a really good, well-calibrated torque wrench to do this job. It's not only to mount the reel correctly so that it's tied on there but doesn't leak or burp air, but also it's a safety concern, so use a torque wrench. As a bonus segment to this video, I'm going to show you a little trick I learned from an old timer about getting valve stems in without doing any damage to them. This is especially important on beadlocks. Now you can see the hole right in there. First thing you're going to do, get a little bit of dish soap, put a dab on you, and run it on there. And what you're going to do is find yourself a washer that fits over the valve stem just perfectly. And of course you're going to put the cap over that. But first, we're going to thread it through, put the washer on, and screw the valve cap in all the way. Let me move this closer. Now for the rest of it, you can use a set of needle nose pliers and just put it behind there and pry it forward to seat the valve stem, or I have one of these little plastic clip pullers, and I like to use this. I just put it under there and it's that easy. And it's seated on there perfectly without doing any damage to the valve stem or to the wheel. So I'm currently running beadlocks on about 3 of my vehicles, and I've literally ran dozens of sets of beadlocks in my lifetime. You know, and this set of Trail Readies right here, I bought these in 2010. I've had about 4 different sets of tires on this buggy. You know, bias ply, huge 40-inch plus bias ply sticky tires, and I use duct tape, and I never burp air on these puppies. So that's a testament to how well this procedure works. So try it. I mean, it's basically free.